It's another day. We are here for the culture. I'm Young Havoc.
Oranges Media.
Realms.
And we just got us another one out there today. So recently we got the XXL freshman list. We got all these new artists. Like, who's your favorite artist from the XXL cover? I know it's a hard one to ask. Like,
I'll let you go first.
I'll have to say A Boogie with the hoodie. A Boogie with the hoodie is definitely at the top of the list.
He do got these kids going crazy.
A couple people that aren't on the list, Young M.A., I think should be there. Black Youngster, I think he should be there. But, you know, I guess apparently they denied the list. You know,
I don't think Black Youngster really needs exposure. Someone that kills the phone game on social media, you always hear
it's not so much about the exposure as much as it is about the accolade.
So like the credentials.
Yeah,
I
I think that period. You know, it should represent something. And you know, some people kind of fell in spots where I was like, hold on, like who's Kamaya and who's, you know, some of those names just didn't look as familiar to me compared to the ones that did make it on the list. So
like, but that's kind of like the feel that I think XXL still want to get. That freshman cover, you still like, oh, where'd they find this person from? It's that new excitement of them finding that person. XXL used to be basically taking jobs at A&Rs. They putting these people in these magazines to where like, all right, we about to tell you the hottest rapper. A Young M.A., a Black Youngster, you already hearing them, they already got their buzz. Why put them in there?
mm-hmm.
Like, but it's still weird with like a Cap G or a Boogie. They making fire. I ain't gonna lie. They still doing their own
thing. Like Cap G is definitely one that's coming up that you see him creeping every now and then. So I could see him being on the list like that because he's a guy that you recognize his face, but you don't see him all over the place. Yeah. But definitely every time you see him, he's got some heat. So that's another name that I definitely recognize on the list, like Magento as well. He pops up every now and then. So some of those names are definitely credible, and you know they come up very often, and then others just kind of stick out at you, like you know PNB Rock, you know not so much hip hop, but more R&B. You kind of feel like, you know, how he creep on the list and stuff like that. So there's a couple names that, you know, they put some things in the mix on that one.
True indeed, man. I don't know if it's just me, but do it seem like the bar gets lowered every year?
Yes.
But anyway, I don't know. I guess it's me. So I only know two cats on this list. I know Playboy Cardi and Anime, and I'm gonna say Anime is the top dude. You know, he's got that song, that Fine Girl, Thick as Fuck. Oh my God, that Caroline or whatever. I thought that song was dope, and he's the only one that I know that actually performed on a late night show. I think he performed on like Jimmy Fallon or something like that. In his third verse, he flipped it and made it like a not necessarily dissing Donald Trump, but just addressing it and speaking on it. So it was like he showed two different sides in that one performance. That I can make this pop song that's not really talking about nothing, but at the same time I can talk about a message. So that made me want to inquire on his mixtape a little bit more. And you know what I'm saying, it's actually pretty good because it seems like he got substance.
See, I got the different, like, I went to a SoundCloud. Like when he first came out, when the Caroline came out, he had, the only thing that was on SoundCloud at the time was, he had some shit with the, you ever played Crash Bandicoot?
Yeah.
And like a Crash Bandicoot mask, it was like the album cover. And it was like some weird rainforest tempo music, and I was like, hold on, I was like, this ain't what I just got from that track. I was like, is this really what he dropping? I was like, is this really what they about to hit us with after this Caroline? So I was like, all right, I kind of gave up on him a little bit. I'm like, then he came out with that, he came out with a new track, his little single. It was like, the one where he's at the music video, where he's at the car dealership trying to sell cars and stuff. I ain't really like the video. So it's just, that one stopped me. So the XXL cover could gain exposure, baby. That's what he's trying to outsource. He got that Caroline, that's that track to really gain attention. And this is what he's really trying to push.
True indeed. As far as like the bar being lowered, like you gotta understand, like the XXL, they like, I was looking at a Breakfast Club interview, and I was like looking like, okay, you got all of these rappers on the cover. Nobody is ever happy on, you know what I'm saying, who's at the cover. Then I look at like who's responsible for putting them on the cover. And to me, it just is like, okay, there's a complete disconnect because it's like they put whatever they put on there, and
who votes for the list? I mean, is it the fan base vote, or
no? It's a like an editors who
like
it's
that's a good question.
It's one editor. It's one editor. I'm pretty sure it's a team of people or whatever, but it's one like chief editor, or whatever that decides who gets put on the list. And like people like Young and May, I think she spoke and was like, Young and May didn't really want to be on the list, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't want to be on the list and stuff like that.
Yeah, is it turning into that? That's what you got to think about. It's kind of like where the source was with the whole 5 mics thing. Back in, you know, not too long ago, 5 mics used to be like, you know, the thing, you know, the equivalent of diamond. And now it's like anybody gets 4 or 5 mics, you know, so it's kind of like that, you know. Does anybody just get thrown on the XXL list? Like, where's the credibility in it anymore if we don't know how it's determined and, you know, what it's gauged on? If it's not.
So we're going to switch over to the social media where we got live views of like people just putting in their own opinion.
Each freshman list is to highlight the hottest, relatively new artists of the year thus far, not just the most lyrical.
I see it as all growth. It's all growth.
If this XX dude gets hit one more time, his fan base gonna blow up for real.
X, I like his energy, but he a wild dude. He gotta chill a little bit.
I think the rap game is not inspirational no more, you know.
A Boogie, Kamaya, PNB Rock, and Playboy Cardi. Yeah, Playboy Cardi got some shit.
My only issue with this list is one fucking artist, and that's Kamaya. She's very mediocre to me, and she's not really a standout artist like the rest of the artists on this fucking list. I think she needs more time to cultivate her sound.
I heard a freestyle from PNB last night on Facebook. It was like before the fame. That was pretty good, so I mean, I'll give him a chance. I just found out that he got an album, so I'm gonna listen to it.
Honestly, don't know too much about the artists on the XXL, but I know that they're getting so much slack from everybody, you know, and they forgetting that they're freshmen in the game. Of course, this is gonna be strange.
Shout out to Camilla, Cap G, and Playboy Cardi for making it. I was hoping to see Wide Fan. That's who I voted for.
I don't think this year's list was all that pretty much, because the rest of them is like, I ain't fucking with it.
Got our host at Ears to the Street, FatFool.
What's up, y'all, man? I hit the streets, man, today, man, to ask how people felt about Westbrook or Harden, you know, because they got the most votes. And I got a lot of good answers, you know, and a lot of good opinions that made me unbiased, you know. Right. And then I also asked people who still watches the BET Awards, not the reruns, the actual event itself, when it is. And I got some crazy answers about that, man. But the main thing, though, that I wanted to say, though, as far as with the, oh my gosh, the thing I wanted to say as far as with the MVP, Westbrook, he deserved it. More so James Harden. How y'all feel about that?
Westbrook, basically, he was that MVP factor. If you took Westbrook out of that team, they was nowhere near the...
Yeah, to be the 76ers.
Definitely. They wouldn't have that accelerator. Everybody would be, at least from what I've seen, everybody's going to be consistently trash. Without Westbrook on the assist, why is your point guard getting 10 rebounds in the first place? Why is that even a big...
You got a point. You got a point. And I had a good stat that they said Westbrook shot 400 more shots than James Harden. Mm-hmm. But if you take that stat, though, at first I was like, damn, that's a good stat. Yeah. But it's technically not, because if you divide 82 games with 400 shots, it's just 5 more shots a night.
Right. True indeed.
So he deserves that because he made 5 more shots than Harden a night.
Counter argument to the point, because I think Westbrook deserved it too, but a counter argument could be the fact that the Oklahoma was probably maybe like a 6th seed still, 6th, 7th seed, mm-hmm. But James Harden's performance maybe not have been individually as good as Westbrook's, you know what I'm saying? It was close. But he still propelled his team to like maybe the 2nd, 3rd seed. So he may have been the most valuable player to the team because he took his team further. So I think, you know what I'm saying, that could be a good reason why he probably should have deserved MVP. I don't know.
That is a nice argument. I ain't gonna lie.
I look back on the years, and when we say, you know, the records that he beat, you know, as far as Oscar Robertson, you know, Big O, shouts out to him, rest in peace as well. When we look back on this season for James Harden, because now people have to beat Russell Wilson with that record.
Yeah.
So they're going to say that he was the, you know, he averaged a triple-double, but he didn't win MVP. That's almost like being Charles Barkley.
Neither did Oscar did that year. Or when he scored the freaking, I mean,
100 points.
100 and 1,000 points in one season.
He was
neither one of them won.
Season.
Yeah, neither one of them won the freaking MVP. So, you know what I'm saying? It's always going to the person that's propelled their team, you know what I'm saying, to that length, because it was like people was talking LeBron James should have been, you know what I'm saying, one of the top 3. I thought it was weird because it's individual stats, but how do you propel his team forward?
You're right. That's very
but then they start just giving it to the same person every year.
True.
Now it'll be a Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, KD. You like, all right, I'm tired of listening to them. Always getting the same accolade, but you still with them propelling that team. But that's a team effort. You got to think. He breaking his back like you were saying every single day.
I mean,
then drop
triple double is impressive.
That makes
it 5 shots a night.
Yeah, for a 6'3" guard, yes, it's impressive.
I mean, those are playoff stats.
I want to give a shout out to Russell Westbrook as well and say, congratulations, Russell,
killing that.
And thank you for being a gentleman all the time and not wanting to shun the media for what they do and how they bash you, man. You don't stoop to the media level ever.
It's crazy because he thanked the media too. So
yeah,
so at the end, right?
So you got to thank your haters too. That's what that says.
Can y'all believe he came off the bench in the All-Star game though?
Yeah,
like not crazy.
He came off the bench in the All-Star game. He's the most valuable player, but he came off the bench. That was wild to me. Steph should have came off the bench. But.
Yeah, man, they believe the hype these days.
Yeah, it is what it is. Man.
But as far as what I asked the people on Into the Streets about the BET Awards, nobody seen it, and I don't know if it was premature question for them because it was like 2 days out, 2 days fresh. But they played 3 reruns by then,
Yeah. Wow.
And so
the original.
I asked people how come, they didn't see it, and they're like, because we don't watch BET anymore.
Wow. I can honestly say that.
And I don't either, because when they started putting videos out, I stopped watching BET.
Yeah.
Counter argument.
Okay, go ahead.
Who watches cable anymore?
Exactly. That's not, I was gonna say it's not just BET. It's like anything that's on the TV.
I don't watch
screen
MTV.
is kind of like
You watching TV too? Like, I don't watch
Netflix
MTV.
and chill mode now.
I watch shows. I don't watch networks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't say I watch the FX network. No, I watch Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I try to find that. So people single out BET, and BET always gets like this bad rep, but people don't watch cable in general.
I think it's just because we're on the topic, but so more so because I think I would say the same thing about MTV Awards, but I did catch like some news about the awards. That's kind of how I get my, through the internet.
So
everything comes from the internet.
Yeah,
so that's how I'm seeing the BET Awards. Like the last time when they did the whole Michael Jackson special, that was, I saw that through the internet, and that was a big thing. So, that's pretty much where it's at now. That's where everybody's getting the news from. But in terms of the BET Awards, shout out to Remy Ma, Best Female Rapper. I kind of saw that was going to happen, but a lot of people probably felt like Nicki Minaj probably should have got that. Like, what do y'all think?
What she put out?
No fraud. So more.
She put out a lot of stuff. She put out more stuff than Remy.
But all the way up, going all the way up was a hot comeback.
All the way up was
I'm talking about in terms of records and singles. Nicki has put out, an onslaught of some things.
It's 2017 now. 2016, she got out of jail, and she's been putting out. She put out an album. She put out the Ether record.
She brought Fat Joe back.
She's probably been the most relevant.
That's
female.
everything to do.
Yeah.
You gotta lift that man back up.
Been the most relevant female since then. Okay, Young and May had one song. Maybe somebody else had one song.
EP. That's not even an honorable mention. But
well, name 3 songs by, you know what I'm saying, Young and May. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all it is.
You about to draw to make all 3 of those fit in. Just play it differently. The remix, the original, and the chopped and screwed version.
Oh, man. Come on, man. So, Remy Ma, man, well deserved.
Yeah.
And I wanted to send a shout out to Leslie Jones as far as hosting it, man. About time she get her shine. She's a very funny individual, very funny woman, period.
You trying to get a date.
You trying to man.
You should go date?
Les. She a lot of women, bro. She a lot of women. You gotta be on. Yeah, she about 6 foot.
She was on the basketball camp at the BET Awards.
Oh, yeah. That's what she said. She'll dunk on you and fuck.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? But shouts out to her, because she got a lot of criticism this year for being in that Ghostbusters movie. So a lot of people online was trying to talk about how she looked like a gorilla and stuff like that. So shouts out to BET for holding her down. It was like, okay, y'all want to tear her down? We're going to prop her up and make her the host of the show. Now, you know what I'm saying? So
she had fun with it.
I know she had fun with it. She definitely did.
That was fun.
She said that her after experience at Ritz-Carlton was not a good experience though because of profiling and stuff like that. But she's from Brooklyn and she comes with an entourage from Brooklyn. You know? Man. So, you know, it's not to say, you know what I'm saying, that's like an aura of grunginess, but she came with, you know what I'm saying, her cousins and her uncles, you know what I'm saying, to show them what BET was, and they didn't like that at the Ritz.
I mean, no surprises. No surprises.
No backstory there. Oh man.
But do y'all think the award show's getting ratchet?
Nah, they kept a nice flow with it. It's just some of the awards, like the performances on the awards, like that I'm the One performance.
Yeah.
The song and the video is lit, but the way they performed it,
yeah.
Quavo's mic seemed like it wasn't on the right tracking. Lil Wayne came out there all late, and he's trying to rush his to catch up with the words. I'm like, dang. But it's still, you still got Lil Wayne, Cali, and all them to get them in the same spot at the same time.
At the same time as Pandemonium.
I heard there was a lot of lip syncing.
Yeah, a lot of lip syncing. Yeah. To Mark Braxton.
Man, Gucci
Mane lip syncing?
He wasn't lip syncing, but he still had his track playing in the background.
Oh yeah.
You could really tell where he either had to talk under it, still had the music playing and stuff, but still, like, they all got busy schedules.
Yeah, they got time to rehearse and stuff like that, and the criteria for a performance is different now. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these cats don't have artist development to be able to rap without their tracks. You know what I'm saying? They just come in on, putting on with how they put on. So man.
So yeah, with that being said, man, Edge of the Street segment was really dope, man. Y'all check that out. Y'all know Westbrook won MVP last night?
Yeah.
Yeah? Y'all think he deserved it? 100%. Over James Harden? Hell yeah.
Now I get it, like they went to the playoffs because of him. But at the end of the day, I feel like he was stat stuffing.
He was stat stuffing.
I feel like he was stat stuffing.
Okay.
And then, cause I think like in the beginning he was really just trying to show like, yo, I don't need KD.
Did you peep Westbrook won the MVP?
Yeah.
Think he should have won it over Harden?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely. I mean, like.
Most definitely. Good.
I mean,
did you peep the BT Awards?
Yeah. You know, Chris Brown almost got jumped.
Oh yeah, Chris Brown. I heard about that. I heard about that. That was crazy, man. They say the BT Awards getting ratchet.
I mean, it is pretty. It's always ratchet, but
y'all peep the BT Awards? They say that nobody watch that shit no more.
I ain't watch it.
You ain't watch BT Awards either?
I ain't watch it.
That's your baby mothers, man. What did you see? What did you hear about the BET Awards?
I heard it was a lot of drama.
A lot of drama between who?
Like Migos and Joe Budden.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah. I saw that. They should have did a performance for Prodigy.
It was rushed though, you know.
It was rushed.
You could tell it was rushed because like he just died like almost 2 weeks ago. So.
I feel you, man. They could have got somebody to come out and do one song.
Yeah.
Like Migos.
Did you see what happened though?
About like when they dropped the mic and all that.
Who dropped the mic?
Quavo and Joe Budden.
Joe Budden. You think they would have beat Joe Budden ass?
Yeah, cause it's 3 of them. And then QC, and they from Atlanta, you know.
And they from Atlanta, right?
4-4 stand up.
4-4 stand up. Yeah, Edge to the Street, man.
I heard about the Migos fight though.
You heard about the Migos fight? Migos was flexing all day. Y'all got the Edge to the Streets, man. All right, y'all.
I appreciate you, bro.
Migos was flexing. You know, and everybody's saying Westbrook deserved that MVP. You know, and everybody's saying Migos was about to whip Chris Brown ass, by the way. We got the Edge to the Streets, y'all. This is really for the culture.
We're gonna start out like this, you know what I mean? Shout out everybody, Old Town, you know what I mean? Let me see what the weather is. Low 73, high 88, but it says 50% chance of raining. It's raining right now, bro. God. Go get the poncho, Joe. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, tell you, fool, but just do that. You know what I'm saying? And then next thing, let me see who else we got on here. You know what I mean? Oh, shout out Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying? Duval, you know what I'm saying? What's y'all boy look like? Low 75, high 83. Damn, it's definitely raining. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe you need to slide that way. And we definitely can't slide on this segment without give you the events, because it's going down, you know what I mean? So let me just go ahead and break this down for you. You gotta know the wonderful DJ Irie. This is Irie weekend, you know what I mean? Don't try to act, don't flag, Don't tell me you don't know who DJ Irie is. Who don't know who DJ Irie is, you know what I mean? We coming down, we got a bunch of parties going on. He got a little Yachty. Yeah, Yachty coming through for his birthday party. Kevin Hart got a little birthday thing going on. Bruh, slap. And this weekend, Essence Festival, my nigga, you know what I'm saying? Shout out Weezy F, baby, you know what I'm saying? What's up, you know what I mean? You got the Essence Festival, slide out to that. I think they got Indy Ari, she supposed to be out there, so, you know, all the people who don't like to wear hair grease, but they got the head wrap, slide, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna be out there. Bring your water and your spritz, you know what I'm saying? And damn, I think that's it. I think that's what it is, so, just like that. Good drink. Yeah, man, you already know, man. Get the aquapana, get your soul right. This is your boy Trill, man. Whether or not, man, it ain't never gonna rain in motherfucking Miami. You know where we at, man. Let's go.
All right, so we got So Cold. So Cold.
What's the business, everybody? So Cold. Y'all know what it is. SOULCOLE. That's the hashtag and all the social medias. Check me out. I am the CEO and president of Truly Versatile Entertainment. Shout out my whole TV ENT squad. You can hashtag that TV ENT. Find a lot of the content from the company. That's my business. We do everything from record production to video production to live entertainment services. I know these guys got some questions for me, and I'm just here to rep for the culture. I'm loving the show. I've been watching everything online that they're doing. And I got to big up them at Havoc just for having me in the building. Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it. We can get this one.
That's a long reach.
Wow. Yeah. All right, fellas. As we say on my show, what's the business?
So that's actually what we were about to ask you. What's the business like? What are you keeping up with, like personally? Like, what is your goal on what you're looking for out in the Orlando area, and where do you originally come from?
It's crazy. I'm actually originally from Florida. I was born in Tallahassee. I'm a Tallahassee Memorial Hospital baby from way back in the day. I'm definitely probably older than everybody here on the show. Anybody's birthday got a year that doesn't have an 8 as the beginning of it?
No, I'm not that old. I'm sorry.
See, that's what I figured. So, you know, as far as, I've been out in entertainment for a long time, but I grew up here in Florida. Moved to DC, was in DC, that's where I started in entertainment. Shout out to my man Suede, aka Element. We were Silky and Suede back on WVAU, American University's radio station. That's where I got into entertainment and broadcast. But I've been performing since I was real young. I wrote my first rhyme when I was like 13. So the hip hop I grew up on was something totally different than what young people these days are into. I'm not knocking what young people are into.
Some of the people.
Man, that was back when it was like, you know, Snoop and Dre, and you know, yeah, really like taking it back, you know, back then. And I mean, some of my favorites are like, you know, what my top MCs would be like Common, Talib Kweli, Mos Def, you know, Big Pun.
So you're looking for the lyricists. You want the nice,
yeah, like I'm really like the conscious content and the real lyricism. You know, that alliteration, that magic, you know, word movement and wordplay, and it's just I don't see as much of these days. But those are all the cats that got me into wanting to perform. My first big performance on stage was back in like '99, 2000. First party I ever DJ, because I DJ as well. I mean, I'm an MC and a lyricist. But I DJ as well and perform. My first DJ gig was in Paris in 1999, big basement party right before the turn of the century. That shows how old your boy is. And my first big performance was then like a year or two later at the Millennium Hotel in London. And I was on stage with this lovely little Asian lady. I'm sorry, honey, I can't remember your name. But we did this dope duet in front of a big, big party. And I've been performing ever since. You know, once I ended up in DC, ended up on WVAU, we were doing the Silky and Suede pre-gaming show, and I was out performing on my own, doing every 15, 20 minutes I could get on stage anywhere. I got hella booze, all kinds of like 8 Mile scenes, because I'd be the only white boy in the whole fucking place. And I got all the fake ass Eminem jeers from the crowd and whatnot until I start rhyming, and then I'd hop off stage after my 15 minutes and sell 2 back pockets full of burn CDs in 20 minutes before I could even make it to the bar to get a drink after my performance. Respect. You know, so after leaving DC, moved out to LA. I was an intern with Columbia Records in the A&R department. over at the Sony building, and that's how I really got to see the industry from the inside, because all I did was open up, you know, demo packs every day and do all the data entry for these A&R reps who really don't exist anymore. Right. You know, that's, I know y'all touched on that on a previous episode, that, you know, the internet is your A&R these days. Social media is your A&R, your hashtags, your social media sites. But, you know, that really gave me an inside perspective on what the game was like, and, you know, just sitting there looking at how much money people would spend back in those days, because there was no EPKs really back then. People were still sending press kits to major labels at that point, and it was the EPK thing was just starting to become big. But I left that because they didn't offer me a job. Appreciate that. It was a second unpaid internship, and you know, who want to work for free for another 6 or 8 months?
So you said you interned at Columbia. So I mean, are there any jewels that you picked up there that you could bring into your own independent?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely don't spend the money on all that stuff, trying to, you know, put yourself out there with glossies and having high-priced pictures taken and all that kind of stuff like that, because all that stuff just goes in the garbage.
So where should your primary investment go to?
Definitely in the quality of your material, first of all. Definitely make sure that you're heavily invested personally and with people around you into as much advertisement as you possibly can. Your social media game got to be heavy, heavy, heavy all the time. If you think you're doing enough, you're not doing enough. If you think you're doing too much, then you're just doing enough. And
So
if you think you're over flooding with all your stuff, then you're finally where you need to be to reach the maximum amount of people you possibly can. I would say, for sure.
Quantity.
So
content is important.
Oh yeah,
content
absolutely.
is important. Social media is important.
Content is important,
and
but
quality.
the quantity and quality. I mean, of course, focus on your quality first and foremost. Then once you know you got your quality locked in, then flood with quantity of that high quality, your highest quality that you can put out there.
Also, like with the way that social media is changing, the way things go now, a lot of these new artists aren't really going for quality; they're going for consistency.
Right.
Like now, if they're known for sending out tracks where, all right, we're doing this at the house, for some reason they're like, all right, we want 50,000 guns in this video. But when you got your consistency, now you're looking for that change. That's when they make their switch to where their social media is really blow. You're like, oh, hold on, he fucked up here. Or then they're looking for that error or your mix-up.
Well, let me tell you this, there's nothing wrong with, you know, with recording in your bathroom, in your basement, in your house. You know, as long as you got a good mic these days, a decent laptop, and a good internet connection, there's no reason that you can't get airplay. I mean, when I moved out to LA and, you know, had long since left the internship behind and started grinding, I used my WVAU, that college radio experience, to get on LA radio, which ended up with me doing 10 years for 2 different networks out there. And I executive produced and hosted a show called What's Really Good with Soul Cole, and it was strictly independent, unsigned, underground, undiscovered people. We did every genre though. We had, you know, hip hop, reggae, rock, alternative, R&B, soul, everything. But I even let DJs come in and do mini sets on the show, because DJs are their own kind of independent artists as well. If you think about it, even though they're spinning other people's records, it's their own creative blend of all that. And, you know, so I would get all these submissions of, you know, people literally recording in their house, in their basement, in their bathroom, in the closet, you know, hang up some egg crate, you know, in there and get in there and get to work. And if you got the skill, that's fine. And I would be playing people's records and they were getting airplay where they couldn't get it anywhere else, and having people come on the show. And, you know, probably 90–95% of the interviews that we were doing, it was these people's first live interview on air ever. And I would love watching their reactions, looking at their faces, because some people would just jump right in and other people would just clam up and be like, wow, like deer in headlights style, you know? And I'm like, wait a minute, you perform for a living and all of a sudden now you can't say 2 words. What the fuck, come on.
Yeah, it's like
say something, we're live.
Right.
Yeah, we can't have dead air.
Pace.
That don't work. So,
is there anything you have to say in terms of the way the game is nowadays, in terms of 360 deals and versus saying independent?
That's a nice question.
You know, like, what would you say to that?
I encourage everybody to do it on their own, honestly. I really, really push anybody who asks me, and as well as myself, you know, I mean, now that I've started, you know, my own company and got my own brand rocking, you know, and I have the ability to put on other entertainers and, you know, got a cool half a dozen staff members out in LA just with the LA-based division, and I'm running 2 other divisions out here while I'm in Orlando. I push everybody towards the independent things. There's absolutely no reason
So as an artist,
you shouldn't be able to do it yourself.
So as an artist, you should always, I mean, in terms of, because I had a conversation the other day, not too long ago, with someone, but I always viewed myself as an artist, in terms of a brand as equity. So the less equity I give to a company that I do deals with, in terms of doing partnerships, the better off I am. How would you say that viewpoint is? Is that on point, or is that something that you should,
No, I would say that's 100% on point. Invest in yourself. Don't give any piece of you to anybody else.
Right.
Because it's not necessary anymore. It used to be necessary to give up a certain percentage of your creative control, a certain percentage of your intellectual property to somebody else in order for them to boost you up. But these days, it's absolutely unnecessary. Right. You spend all that money on you. Make all this stuff. I made all this. The mugs that we use on set.
That's a powerful thing to say too.
I made the shirts that we have my employees wear every night when they're out working out in LA, or the shirts I wear. When I'm out repping the brand and repping myself as the Soulco brand I created first, which then morphed into me creating a much larger thing as the Truly Versatile Entertainment brand. I made all this stuff. So make it yourself. There's definitely places you can go. Right in your neighborhood. Go to the mom and pop print shops, man. That's where I started out in LA. All the little mom and pop t-shirt stores and stuff like that, they'll give you a better deal than a lot of these mass production spots online. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not like I have a Vistaprint to get stuff made. That's not really necessary. And, you can get a lot of, you can get vinyl pressed up, for all you artists out there, and DJ, you want vinyl pressed up for your records and for your products, do it in Europe. Man, there's definitely great companies out there. Shout out my boy Raj Hills, just put me onto a great company, his Truth Be Told project, that you actually hear my voice on. I do the intro skit on there. But he just got vinyl pressed up over in Europe for a fraction of what it would have cost over here. So, spend your money on you, but in the right places, so you can say, like you say, your equity, keep it in-house.
Yeah.
Don't be fractioning that, don't be portioning out none of the pie to anybody else. That's your pie, keep that shit at home.
Being that you're like 20 years into the game, 20 years, into hip hop, two directions. Do you think hip hop is evolving or devolving?
Ooh.
Consider the internet, consider record companies, consider everybody, Lil Yachty, the Chance the Rapper, consider all of that, hip hop.
Just those two right there, that's perfect. That's two perfect examples. Lil Yachty, we're on the downslope. Chance the Rapper, going all the way up. Bring my Fat Joe plug right there. But, look at the humanitarian award Chance just got. Look at everything he's doing for Chicago. Whereas, look at these young cats that are rapping all about the Lambos and the ice in the videos and shit. And I'm sorry, man, but you're not even old enough to have possibly made enough money to be able to afford a Lambo. Don't be fronting and dancing on top of rented cars that you rented for the afternoon that's got to be back 3 hours later or 4 hours later without a scratch on it, fronting like that's yours. Whereas, you got other cats that want to take their money and reinvest it into the community, reinvest it into those people who made you famous in the first place.
True.
Like Chance. So it's a yin and yang of what's going on right now.
I think Charlamagne said it best. People want to believe the lie more than they want to believe the truth. So
Absolutely.
It's kind of like a give and take nowadays. If you do got the Bentley or you got the Lambo in the video, people would rather believe that you had it rather than you didn't. Until they see something fall apart or something like that, like what happened with Ace Hood on the red carpet. Until they see something fall off. Then now they got you on camera, So, but until then, it's kind of like they want to believe that. That's what people look at videos for.
Well, and to your point, all of entertainment really. And I used to tell everybody in my long career in all the radio days, especially in radio, which is kind of dying out now. But I used to tell everybody that perception, is reality.
Right.
That was my go-to line for every artist and every band and every group that came in to interview. I said, listen, what these people hear is what they're going to believe. Mm-hmm. Now that that's evolved into everything on video, even people that broadcast radio-wise, shout out Breakfast Club and everybody else who has all the cameras in studio, even back to when Howard Stern started, filming radio live in the studio, and everybody who's done it since. But perception is reality when it comes to entertainment business. I don't care what angle it's in. I don't care if it's in music, film, radio, whatever. Whatever people see and hear is what they believe in the general public. So, that's why you got all these young cats that can't really afford a lot of what they're rapping about. But people, if they see it and hear it, they want to believe it because on the one hand, it may be a little bit of a motivational thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's the other side of that scale. As much as I'm trying to downplay that, I'm not trying to diss nobody. I got respect for everybody. You know, I don't knock anybody's hustle, but you know, as much as they might be fronting in the actual, you know, in terms of ownership and or whatever they got or whatever they have. But if that's motivating somebody who's their fan to want to try to get that and do something extra or do something better with their life, then okay, then keep it up.
I mean, that's one of Meek Mill's arguments about, you know, they always clown him about the Rolly comments in his lyrics, but that's one of the things he always says, you know, that's what the Dream Chasers stand for, is, you know, just the whole idea of never having nothing and, you know, celebrating that. So that's, you know, that's an argument you can throw at it too, you know.
Bart?
Let's talk about some of your artists that's on some of these CDs. Tell me a little bit about, you know, a couple of the artists.
Well, here's the first two projects that our record production division at True Versatile Entertainment put out. Both of them I decided, you know, when the company originally formed, I incorporated back in 2012. The first project you see right there in front of the mic, the black cover, that's Songs That Save. I wanted to stamp the company's name on our first record on a project that was going to be beneficial. So it's actually a collection of creative covers. It's a charitable project. We gave 40% of the proceeds for an entire year's worth of album sales to an incredible organization, Stand Up to Cancer. It's a leading cancer research and development organization in the country, nonprofit, and they team up with a lot of entertainment and musician type cats, and so I figured that was great to do work with them. We had 20 artists from all over the country, 18 cuts on the album, everything. We got a little touch of everything, a little taste of everything for everybody, so we could cast the biggest net possible out there as far as how many fans we could pull in and people purchasing it to raise enough money to give really a significant amount to them. So you got a little reggae on there, you got a little old school R&B and soul, you got some rock, you got some hip hop, you got some classic rock. There's just a little bit of something for everybody.
And where can people purchase that if they want to get a copy?
The original Songs to Save, as well as Songs to Save Volume 2, that's the one next to it, which is a similar concept, except for we switched up the charities. We did 40% for another 12 months album sales off that one, but we split it up 20% to St. Jude's Hospital out of Memphis and 20% to Children's Hospital LA. Those are two leading pediatric cancer facilities in the country. Both of those available online. cdbaby.com/songs that save, itunes.com/songs that save, volume 2. You can find them both online, CD Baby, iTunes, whatever.
Awesome.
Yeah, and they were both just really gratifying projects to be in the studio, executive producing. I'm on it as well. You get to hear your boy rap, you get to hear your boy sing. But both of them just a mixture of genres, a little something for everybody. Plus, they're both for a great cause. We got some non-charitable projects coming out. We got a double CD from a live project that was recorded in the largest maximum security facility in the country. It's a double album. My boy Wise 100 Doors. Shout out to him. He's on the first volume of Songs That Save. We did a road trip out there, and he spent a year trying to get the green light to get into the prison.
Wow.
And so we went out there and he performed for hours for the inmates.
Spend their whole life trying to stay out.
We cut it down to a double album's worth, so we're trying to get that live album out of Wise 100 Doors live from Angola out by the end of the year. And then I got a project I'm doing with a whole bunch of artist friends of mine that'll be all, you know, original productions of mine, all my own writing, and so you get to hear me flowing and going. But with a lot of cool vocalists that'll be guest spots, a lot of cool instrumentals to be doing guest spots. That'll just be the tentative Soul Cold and Friends album or whatever. And check out season 2 of What's the Business. That's the show on YouTube, and my channel is very cleverly hidden at Soul Cold. It's the name of the YouTube channel. We did a whole first season back in 2015, and we're in the works right now to start the shooting of the second season, hopefully next month. We shoot that out in LA, and
what's the show about?
What's the Business is basically, you know, it's kind of a larger version of what my radio show is all about. You know, you hit a point when you do something for so long where, like, if it starts to get stagnant and you feel like you're not doing anything as creative as you can anymore, you got to take it to another level. So what better way to do it, I thought, than take what we were doing on the air in an enclosed space. You know, you spend that long, 10 years in broadcast booths with no windows, and you realize that you got to get out of this, you got to get out of this environment. So I figured, why not? Let's take it to a sound stage. Let's get the green screen. Let's get the full set, multiple cameras, and all that. And so every show's got what we call an industry interview, where that's either somebody who owns a local business, an entrepreneur, philanthropist. Also, we have sports figures, authors, musicians, all that kind of stuff. They come in, do the industry interview, and then every episode also has a musical guest of some sort. They perform twice, similar to Saturday Night Live, but I sit them down in between the two performances to actually do an interview as well. So, yeah.
All right. So, like, if people want more information, like besides like the social media, like, do you have like a contact, like an email, where they could come and find you, or a place, a source, to where if they want to get more, like if they want to get interviews on the show or want to help, I'm trying to think of the way.
If you're interested in getting on What's the Business, if you want to perform, you're an artist. I'm still trying to rep as many independent, unsigned artists, just like the radio show for so many years. But it's not to say that I'm against anybody who's big time and wants to come on my little independent show. That's cool. Or if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, up and coming, sports figure, comedian, author, anything industry as far as entertainment industry is based, Facebook.com/What'sTheBizTV. So just on Facebook @What'sTheBizTV, send all your inquiries there. I'm on Facebook @SoulCole, Twitter @SoulCole, Instagram @SoulCole_TVENT for Truly Versatile Entertainment. SoundCloud is SoulCole. I'm all over the place, man. I'm out there.
Everything's so cool.
Only thing I don't do, I don't post to Snapchat. Too many people that got in too much trouble with Snapchat. I don't be doing that because I got a wife at home to keep happy. As long as I stay out of trouble, she be happy, and happy wife, happy life. Shout out my boo.
So you got to keep that on everything in pace on that one, because we ain't trying to have Soul Cold turn into a soul.
Absolutely. And she's from Memphis. She's from the dirty South, so you can't piss off on a dirty South woman.
Right.
You feel me? But yeah, man, I just I think y'all got a great thing going here.
Appreciate it.
I can't wait to keep watching every episode. I've already liked it, and I'm trying to follow y'all and keep up with everything y'all doing. So, just much love, man, for having me here.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate the jewels.
All right, man. It's for the culture, y'all. So cold, man. I'm just trying to show love to these cats. Oh, real quick before we go, let me just give a shout out to my whole TVENT squad, especially all my LA staff real quick. My head of live entertainment, Sunshine Jen, of course, always holding it down out there when the boss man can't be on the West Coast. Of course, I got to shout out Heartthrob Eric, my man C-Note, of course, Lovely, and Miss Crazy K. All my team out there holding it down in LA when the boss got to be flying back and forth to the East Coast. I love y'all. #TVENT. Y'all know what it is.
But on some real, all right, this is off segment. I gotta put some coins in the meter. I ain't gonna bullshit.
Damn, son.
Those were off segment stuff. So, as it cool if I slide out, y'all.
I thought we was wrapping it up anyway. All right, well, shoot, we gotta put some coins in the meter. This is for the culture. I'm Rems.
For the culture.
For the culture. Before they take off all my wheels and full stuff.
Yeah.